These verses highlight 3 doors the devil uses to enter our lives and take a foothold in our lives. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 25 through 28. Therefore, putting away lying, let each one of us speak truth with our neighbor, for we are members of one another. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, nor give place to the devil. Let him who stole steal no longer, but rather let him labor, working with his hands what is good, that he may have something to give him who has need. The book of Ephesians is one of Paul's later epistles, and as such, he uses the devil's name with more frequency. In his earlier writings, he uses Satan. The name Satan means adversary, or one who opposes. This name really just means enemy, and that is definitely the truth. He is more specific with his terminology. The term devil comes from the Greek diabolos and carries the gloss meaning slanderous, accusing falsely. When used with the definite article, it translates the slanderer par excellence. The devil is one who defames, maligns, backbiter, among other such evils. When we understand that we are not just talking about semantics, we can appreciate Paul's concern even more. Satan, in his role as the devil, manifests one method of his enmity as the tempter, for it signifies one who sets at variance man with God and man with man. The devil has set man at enmity with God. He accomplished this in the Garden of Eden when he tempted our first parents and caused them to sin against God. Because they were enticed to go against God's decree, their entire being became corrupt and carnal. The Bible tells us that sin entered human nature through Adam, and because of that, our minds too have become carnal. Romans 8:7 tells us that the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, nor indeed can be. This has so far been the magnum opus of Satan in his role as the devil. He managed to drive a wedge between us and God that could have only been repaired by Jesus Christ. The devil has not rested in his attempt to keep us at war with God. He is relentless in trying to steal, devour, and destroy any semblance of us being at peace with God. Satan is working to cause enmity between humans and other humans. He is not pleased when those of the household of faith live in unity and at peace. He hates when we all love one another. Paul exhorts the church to live at peace with each other as much as it is possible. David rejoices in Psalm 133, "Behold, how good and how pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments." It is safe to say if it pleases God, it displeases the devil, and he will do anything to move the heart of man to vices that cause factions. Why would we give place to the devil if we are aware of his desire to set us against God and against each other? The NIV uses the term foothold. In this Pauline exhortation, a foothold is a place where a person's foot can be lodged to support them securely. That is exactly what the devil is looking for. We may do things that we think to ourselves, no harm, no foul. Some of these things may just be enough of a place for the devil to stand firm and then begin to climb into our lives and wreck us. All he is seeking is a secure position from which further progress may be made. We must never give him this kind of place to stand. We must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. We are one body. This echoes the prayer of Jesus Christ over his followers when he was getting ready to leave his disciples. John 17:20 through 21. My prayer is not for them alone, Jesus prayed. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. The church in Ephesus needed to be reminded that they are one with each other. We need to be reminded of this as well, so we can put aside lying and bearing false witness. We cannot make provisions for the flesh, because when we do this, we are giving the devil room to shore up his footing. Once he gets a foothold, he will seek to stand and climb. We are children of God. We should not allow the things of our flesh to rule us. Remember, the carnal mind is at war with God. Lying has no part in our lives. We are not the devil's children. The devil is the father of lies, and we must not practice the things that dominate his household. If we do, we will incur the chastening that Jesus gave those who were speaking falsely. You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. John 8:44. Our language is not like those who belong to the devil. We are children of the truth, so let us speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. Anger has a way of leading our hearts away from God and fracturing our relationship with each other. In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. This is another way the devil will make his way into our hearts. Anger is a natural emotion, but it is one that must be confronted quickly when we find it in us. We should not allow anger to turn into bitterness, and bitterness to mutate into hate. Our calling of unity must be greater than our desire to affect wrath. We cannot afford to make room in our lives for the devil. He will come in and make a mess of the peace we have with God and each other. Remember, if it pleases God, it displeases the devil. When we dwell in unity and love, the devil will do all he can to wreck it. As we grow in Christ and he is being formed in us, we must make every effort to put away vices such as stealing. We will not build the relationship that God has called us into by stealing from someone we should be expressing love towards. This is yet another evil that gives the devil an inch in our lives. Do not be fooled, friends. If the devil gets an inch, he will take a mile. If he gets a foothold, he will take the entire mountain. If he gets let through the gate, he will take the entire yard. We must not give him a place. Instead of stealing, Paul says we should work and gain so we can give. This is the call of Yahweh to the ransomed heart. Stand your ground and do not shift your heavenly calling to give the devil a place to grow. If you are lying, stop, or the devil will come in. If you are angry, stop, and do not allow the devil to come in and fill your heart with bitterness. If you are stealing, stop, and find ways to gain wealth so that you can give back to the poor. Don't give the devil a foothold.